So the contract's up in the end of 24-25 season. So not next season, the season after, but as Dortmund often do, they'll look to try and get as much money as possible. So the options include, in terms of signing this summer, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Queen's Park Rangers, Man City, and PSG. So what I think when we look at the runners and riders, first of all, Chelsea, there's been reports that he'd said no to Chelsea, but that's then been sort of put to bed. Apparently that wasn't the case. I'm going to take Chelsea out of it because I think if you spend, and I looked on Transfer Market and it said that Bellingham's worth £110 million. And let's say that generally Transfer Market is kind of, he's just doing the sums for 20%. Generally those sums are actually quite sensible. So if you're going to cost that much and you've got someone like Conor Gallagher, if you believe in Conor Gallagher and what he can do, you've still got Kovacic and you've just signed Enzo Fernandez with 100 million odd. But I think it then comes down to his understanding of his own development. And I think it comes down to what motivates him. And when we're talking about impact, does he want to have impact now at 20, or does he want to have impact at 26? But if he goes to Man City, it's not about the romance, is it? It's about Pep and it's about winning trophies. Liverpool, there's the links with, I think, his style of play and Gerrard, the fact that he sees Gerrard as a bit of an idol of his. I personally see a lot of the similar characteristics of him and Gerrard. And in terms of the style of play of Liverpool, that's the most exciting watch, I would say, is Liverpool. Because he goes there. If you look at his heat map over the season, it looks like a pimply 15-year-old. It's very red and there's splodges all over the place. And that would fit pretty well with Liverpool and who he is, which is like a box-to-box midfielder, you know. And there's not often that many teams that provide the sort of the room and the style of play to have box-to-box midfielders in your side. Real Madrid are quite possibly that exception with Modric, who we're talking about, and the idea that he could come in and possibly go and replace Modric, even maybe have a year alongside him. He can do his running for him, even though Modric doesn't need that, and kind of go from there. Which of these clubs do you think, if you were Jude Bellingham, would you go to?
I feel like I've learned a lot there, Jim. I'll go through it from my side. If he goes to PSG or Chelsea, I think I'll seriously look at my Jude Bellingham fan membership card, because Chelsea just feels like when he was linked with Manchester United back in the day, like there's an absolute mess in there. The last thing Chelsea need to be doing at the moment is signing any more players. So let's rule that one out. I don't think he'll do PSG. Then it comes down to those top three. I think the most worrying thing for the rest of the league is if Manchester City don't win the Premier League and or the Champions League. If they come away with nothing and then they're looking at what they've got and maybe the sort of feeling that they need to make a signing and need to make a splash, and maybe even in that midfield area, you know, you've got an getting older Kevin De Bruyne. Aging sounds like he can't kick a ball, but there's the sort of need to just freshen up that midfield a bit. And with Liverpool, we've spoke about it so much. With them, technically, does it come down to sort of, have they got the money? Where the ownership have sort of said that they're looking for investment, is that, are they going to be in or out? So even there's doubt. And then with Real Madrid, that's my prime move as a Jude Bellingham number one fan member. I think I just want him to go there to carry it. There's just something, I don't know what it is, if it's romantic or just nice, or I've played too much Alex Hunter, The Journey on FIFA. I just want him to sort of stay abroad. And there is definitely pressure and limelight in Madrid. And like we've seen that, you know, look at how Gareth Bale was treated. And maybe he could have done things differently. Maybe he couldn't have. But with Jude Bellingham, I wouldn't be worried about how he's going to sort of ingratiate himself with Spanish life and Madrid life. So there's not that worry. I just think an English player playing for a club like that, and potentially even maybe one day captaining Real Madrid, that's something I can't think of in my lifetime unless Beckham captained them. But just something so...
McManaman, yeah, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, don't be comparing McManaman to Bellingham, please, James.
I know. So my prediction is that he will go to Real Madrid. Hi guys, you're watching a clip from the latest episode of The Ripple Effect. If you want to enjoy the full podcast, you can do so exclusively on Spotify right now. So head over there, follow The Ripple Effect, and if you're feeling very generous, why not give the podcast a 5-star rating? The reason he will go to Real Madrid is that I think you're right, the sort of spotlight and the ripple effect of him going to Real Madrid could be the start of a burgeoning golf career. I could see him absolutely loving golf. He's got that Michael Jordan vibe to him. Bale can sort of have a quick word with him. I don't know if they've got the same sponsors, but if that was the case, they could go down that road. But I think the thing with Real Madrid is, first of all, how many times does Real Madrid come around? And I think that allure does still just about exist. I think with the timing of his career in terms of his age... If it doesn't work at Real Madrid, you can go to the layer below Real Madrid can still be the big clubs in the Premier League, even with all the money being in the Premier League right now. Real Madrid, I think, is one of those where you can still get those huge moves, right? And we've seen it before, loads of that. Robin, for example, the great example of that. Like, you can leave and have huge success at big clubs. If you go to Liverpool and fail, now I don't think he would ever. But the safe bet, if you go to Liverpool and it doesn't work out, you're then... So, for example, Naby Keita has gone for big money. Everyone thinks he's going to be the next big thing. He's linked with going back to Dortmund then. And Bellingham then, for his next move, is in a trickier position where he's not going to be battling for those Champions Leagues, I don't think. And he's not going to be battling for those other kind of moves. So, I think... I do see him going to Real Madrid. Him and Camavinga in the midfield, Cruz on his way out. That's pretty frightening. And I wonder if he enjoys the spotlight, but not to the same extent of the Premier League. That is one thing that Jadon Sancho has really struggled with, hasn't he? Coming back to the Premier League, is that you are scrutinised so much. And if he goes there, and he can win a couple of Champions Leagues, maybe. I guess the thing he needs to think about as well is, I bet they're all talking as well. Where's Mbappe going? Like, is Mbappe going to Real Madrid? Can they buy both of them? Or is that going to be another year's time? So there's a lot of things to think about here. But it does feel like, to me, I just can't see him going to Man City. I just can't see it.